Well, hello, my friends. JW here, and welcome to another brand new episode and a long overdue episode of Dunswell Zoo. So, this episode we are building the Ussuri Dhole enclosure, but I just wanted to run through a few things with you first before we get the ball rolling on that. So, this episode is going to be recorded odd. I have the back end of a cold at the moment. My voice isn't fantastic. But essentially, my plan is to record this in the weeks leading up to the new DLC being released, because we know that in the new DLC we're getting a Palace's cat. And there was initially going to be a Palace's cat in Dunswell Zoo. It was going to be, I think it was this area was sort of earmarked for a Palace's cat. That's sort of changed, and I think what I'm going to do now is this episode we're going to be building the Ussuri Dhole habitat, which we'll get onto in just a few moments. But I want to remodel this snow leopard habitat on the right here. It's too big, and the snow leopard is just absolutely dwarfed in this habitat. So I really want to reduce the size of this habitat. So I think it would be a good place to put the Palace's cat if we can sort of fit it in this area here. And that way you would walk up and you would have the Palace's cat on your right. You'd have the Ussuri Dhole on the left. And then just ahead of you, you would have the Himalayan brown bear. And then to your right again, you would have the snow leopards. But yeah, it's in definite need of revamping this habitat. And I think now is the time to do it. You know, the snow leopard is just dwarfed. I mean, how much room have they got? Let's have a look. Oh, that one, that one, that one. So traversable area is fine. They need 705 and they've got 1,558, so just over double the amount that they need. Don't know why snow's showing up, because I've turned terrain off, I think. I should have done anyway. But yeah, they're so small, they're dwarfed, so this habitat needs reducing, definitely. So that's going to be something that I'll be doing off camera. But I will do the Palace's cat on camera, definitely. And then there's still some TLC that needs doing in this area. Not a massive amount, granted, but there's still some what needs doing. So the Himalayan Manal donation boards still need to be produced. And what was the other one? The snow leopard donation boards still need to be produced. If I can find any of them, they would be inside. Nope, I've not put any out yet. That's absolutely fine, so I can go ahead and do that. And there was some education that needed doing as well. And then I think after the Palace's cat, we will do the Himalayan brown bear complex, and that will be the Himalayan Heights done for Dunswell Zoo. And we'll then move on to planning out the rest of the zoo, because by far the biggest area of the zoo will be Southeast Asia, which I was hoping to have sort of extend from like down here all the way back here and around the back here, and then you'd have the Indo-Gangetic plains in this area, and then we've got all of Africa to sort of fit in there. We have also got some new animals to go back over into the Australasia zone, particularly some birds. A few mammals as well, but we've got some birds primarily. So pretty excited to go back over there and get that done. But the zoo is looking beautiful, if I may say so myself. We've not touched this for a very long time. We've been working in Eastlake, and I've been busy with work and then having a mental breakdown and literally having a mental breakdown. But yeah, still off on sick at the moment, but fingers crossed. Although I don't want to go back, so maybe not fingers crossed. But fingers crossed I'll be back at work at the end of October. Definitely got a lot of thinking ahead of me and what I sort of want to do with my life, because initially my plan was to do the job that I'm doing at the moment for a few years, get some money in the bank, and then do what I want to do. Obviously that's not going to be the case anymore. I don't think I can stick this job out for a few years. It'll be coming up to 1 year in January next year, and it's already broken me. So perhaps plans need to change sooner rather than later. But anyway, I've waffled enough. I just wanted to let you all know what the plans were in terms of revamping the snow leopard habitat. I'm quite happy with the other one, this one over here. I'm quite happy with that. That's a decent size for a snow leopard habitat for me. And although the snow leopard still does appear really small, it is a much more appropriate sort of landscape what we've got going on. I much prefer this one. I mean, what sort of space has this one got? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 4, 6. 1, 2, 4, 6. And 1, 5, 5, 8. So we need to cut about 300 square meters out of this habitat. But I'm just going to redo the entire thing because, yeah. But I'll do that off camera. In this episode, we are going to be building for the Ussuri Dhole. So this blue box is the space you need to keep 6 Ussuri Dhole happy in Planet Zoo. And that's the number I'm sort of going for, which is 6. But we're not going to have it as this blue box. We're only going to have it where the sort of sand is. So it'll be cutting off about here. So then this area needs to go on the end here, which it definitely will do. And then there'll be some indoor access as well. So, without any further delay, we can go ahead and get rid of that. And get started on our Ussuri Dhole habitat. So hello, it's present, slightly present, but still past JW. I've now recovered from the back end of my cold. Still off sick on work. The Zookeeper Animal Pack, whatever it's called, that comes out tomorrow at the time I'm recording this voiceover. Yeah, there was a bit of worry over the Safaka. It's thankfully now been cleared up. It was just a bad screenshot from Frontier. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the Palace's Cat and another pack for Planet Zoo. It's been so long since we've had Planet Zoo DLC. But here I'm just building the walls for the indoor viewing for the Ussuri Dhole. So I had a very specific sort of idea in mind for what I wanted the indoor viewing to look like for the Ussuri Dholes. It wasn't particularly based on anything, it was just an idea that I had for how I wanted it to look, and it was sort of a beigey coffee taupe coloured wall, and then lots of really sort of thick, rough looking wood, so it looked very rustic. And after sort of experimenting with a few different types of wood, we do find one eventually. And yeah, it was a really difficult build. I don't think I show any of the roof construction because it was just a nightmare, and it does actually cause some problems with building. You might see it in the footage, obviously it's sped up, so maybe not, but it's definitely there, and yeah, it caused a lot of issues with building. It was really laggy and it was taking ages to sort of put stuff down. I wanted a nice roof, an Asian style roof. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen, it doesn't work. The shape of the building and the pieces we have just do not merge well, unfortunately, which is a shame because I would have really liked this building to have a roof like that. Oh well. And here, doing some terrain work, because the Ussuri Dholes live in a variety of different habitats, and I wanted to give them some terrain changes just to sort of replicate the sort of terrain that come across in their natural habitat. So Ussuri Dholes are the nominate subspecies of dhole. Dholes are of course a type of wild dog native to Asia. The Ussuri Dholes are the largest of the subspecies. They also possess a narrower skull and a brighter reddish coat with more pronounced white fur. They tend to inhabit cooler, temperate, seasonally frigid environments, and they also have a thicker coat during the colder seasons. What else can I tell you about dholes? So they live in forests, plains, grasslands, steppes, and alpine tundra. It's unfortunately believed that Ussuri dholes are extinct in Mongolia, Russia, and South Korea. Their presence in North Korea is currently uncertain due to, North Korea being North Korea. They feed on a variety of wild animals. They have quite a wide diet, actually, words. So red deer, musk deer, roe deer, muntjac deer, mouflon, argali, goitered gazelle, chinkara, saiga, which of course we got in the Eurasia Animal Pack, chiru, Eurasian wild boar, which we got in the Eurasia Animal Pack, grouse, pheasant, waterfowl, red jungle fowl, peafowl. They've also been documented eating red-crowned cranes, which we got in the Wetland Animal Pack. They also prey on small rodents, frogs, snakes and lizards, and injured and weak animals of numerous species. They do sometimes attack unattended or juvenile Kayang, onager, and Mongolian wild horses, but these are generally herd animals and they're very protective and aggressive, particularly towards predators, so this is a rarity. But they are endangered, Ussuri dholes, which is why we've got them here in Dunswell Zoo, and they occur in low densities, which is part of the reason they're endangered, but also because of poaching, illegal hunting, and the fur trade, although these don't pose as much of a risk as they used to. But certainly within areas where their ranges overlap other dogs, they're vulnerable to diseases and confrontations with feral dogs, wolves, and jackals. Ussuri dholes have also been targeted by other predators, such as tigers, leopards, sloth bears, sun bears, striped hyena, and even Asiatic lions in India's Gir forest. Elephants, rhinos, goa, and banteng are also a danger due to their massive size and quick temper. So yeah, we've got the Ussuri dhole. So I was a bit hesitant about including them in the Himalayan sort of section because it doesn't mention the Himalayas sort of anywhere there. But when you look at the distribution map, it does overlap the Himalayas, the mountain ranges and the slopes and things like that. So absolutely, I think their inclusion here is warranted. I think so anyway. So we're just building a custom fence here, and it's purely just to sort of spice things up a little bit rather than having the generic fence. So yeah, countries like Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar, Nepal, and Thailand. So certainly the sort of mountains, temperate steppe, grasslands, that sort of habitat. They're quite a vocal species as well. So this roof was a nightmare. This is the roof I'm talking about. I had to do it like that in the end, but it was an absolute nightmare. So Ussuri Dholes can have up to 6 pups, between 4 and 6. And they can live in quite large group sizes, but we're going to have 6 here at Dunswell Zoo. And depending on how many pups they have, we might have sort of 3 generations living together. Or we might just have the sort of first generation if there's 4 pups. We can house more than 6, and we may house more than 6, but I built the habitat for the size requirements of 6. I think it is probably a little bit bigger, so we do have a little bit of sort of leeway in terms of having maybe 7, maybe 8. There's no way we can house 12. They wouldn't be happy with this size habitat for 12 dholes. Even though they do look quite small in this habitat, the habitat's not that much bigger than the requirement for 6. And then here I'm just building a little bit of housing. It's offshore housing. The guests are never going to get access to this. It doesn't need to look fancy. It just needs to fit in and do the job. And hopefully I managed to pull that off. So let's talk about the Zookeeper Animal Pack and the future of Planet Zoo. Just a little bit. I don't want to talk about it too much. Zookeeper's Animal Pack. There are some odd choices of animal in this pack. So we're getting the Kirk's Dik-Dik, the Hamadryas baboon, the Cockerel Safaka, the Pallas's cat, the Markhor, the Andean bear, and the African spurred tortoise. Yeah, I think I'd maybe prefer the secretary bird over the African spurred tortoise. Not that I'm against the African spurred tortoise, you know, it's a welcome addition, but out of the options I would have preferred the secretary bird. We've seen all but 2 at the time of recording this voiceover. We haven't seen the Dik-Dik yet, and we haven't seen the spurred tortoise yet. The Safaka caused a bit of controversy. Frontier didn't choose the best screenshot to showcase the Safaka, and we were all a bit worried that it was just going to be on the lemur rig. It's not. It does actually hop and jump around and stuff like that. So the Pallas's cat and the Cockerel Safaka and the Kirk's Dik-Dik and the African spurred tortoise, they will all be in Dunswell Zoo. The Hamadryas baboon won't be in Dunswell Zoo, but it will be in Eastlake. The Andean bears we already have in Dunswell Zoo. I'm going to be redoing their habitats, because they have 2. I'm going to be redoing their habitats just to make it a bit better viewing, because you can only really view one of the habitats, unfortunately. So I'm going to try and get viewing for both habitats into the enclosure design. And the Markhor won't be in Dunswell Zoo. Is that it? Yeah. But the Hamadryas baboon, the Markhor, the Dik-Dik, the Pallas's cat, and the African spurred tortoise will be in Eastlake. So there's going to be some duplicates. But certainly the Hamadryas baboon would be in Eastlake. It's not going to be Dunswell Zoo. Same for the Markhor, Eastlake, not Dunswell Zoo. But yeah, it will be a while before we see most of those animals, because they're going to be in the African section, with the exception of the Pallas's cat, which will be coming up. It's either going to be the episode after this, or if the mods break, then it will be sort of in a couple of episodes' time, of which it'll be Eastlake, going back to Eastlake and adding the African spurred tortoise to the desert hall. So here we are with the finished product, my friends. So just on our right here, we've got the space that we're going to be putting our Pallas's cats in. Hopefully they will fit in this space, but we're going to try and squeeze them in there if we can. If need be, I can always take a little bit more room off the snow leopard habitat that's just behind it. But the star of the show this week is the Ussuri Dhole. So we have our viewing here on the left, and you can see that we've got our male and our female just taking a run through. Let's go have a look. There they are. Just over there. Wow. So we've got a male and a female, and the habitat is designed to hold 6 individuals. So it might be, depending on the amount of cubs that they have, or the amount of pups rather, they might have 4 pups, in which case we'll have our 6th dhole. It'll be a family group. But there they are, the Ussuri Dhole. There's a couple of little bits what need touching up sort of here and there. This gap doesn't look very good, so I might go ahead and just move this down. It does sort of line up along there though, so I might actually just put a barrier, a beam or something in underneath just to thicken it up a little bit. And I've just seen a dhole. There they are. Look at that. It's an amazing view. As it has a poo. Everything has a poo when I record it. I do not understand why this keeps happening to me. But they look amazing. They don't look like this in the base game. I've got the Dhole remaster mod, of course, to make them look more like the Ussuri Dholes. But yeah, we've just got a male and a female in here. And this habitat's sort of meant to recreate the slopes of the Himalayas. So just sort of the foothills of the mountains where there's still a bit of forest, but everything's looking a bit dry and a bit cold. We've just got some sort of little education there for people to interact with. So we'll head left first. So we've got some of this bunting down here just to make it look a little bit... sorry about that, I just had a message through from work. I'm off work at the moment, so... Where was I? Yes, we've got this little bunting here. So yeah, it's to look a little bit Himalayan and just keep the theming going a little bit. You can actually see the dholes from lots of different angles. You can see them through the mesh here. But we do also give them a lot of privacy as well. The hedge does sort of go upwards, but you can still get some pretty decent views from up here. Then of course we lose the viewing, and then it returns slightly, and then the viewing returns properly down here, and then we lose it again as we hit this corner. I'm just thinking this corner will be probably quite busy, that's why I wanted to give them as much privacy as possible. And then we've got the hedges around the side here. Not a lot of viewing around the side, just a little bit for the taller folk. Again, you know, the idea would be that you're forced to explore different areas to get different viewing opportunities. But yeah, that's the Ussuri Dhole habitat. Really happy with how it turned out. As you'll have seen from the footage earlier on, this roof is causing some major issues with building just in this area. So that's why the roof's looking a little bit janky, a little bit spaced out. There we go, in the Ussuri Dhole, walking through the bracken. Got the grass, there's one on the rock up there, look at that. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Whee! But yeah, the idea would be that most of the viewing takes place down here. Through these viewing windows, and where the hedges are at their lowest. But yeah, this roof's looking a little bit janky, and it's got all these gaps in it. But I just cannot build in this area. It goes far too slow. So I've just left it as it is. Got a bit of education here. A little bit of a talk point. And some nice views of the Dhole. And you can actually also see into their house. The door has to be that big so the keepers can get through. Otherwise I would have made it smaller for them. But yeah, hopefully we'll have some baby dholes soon. And then at this side, again, I've just blocked the view in as much as possible. And then you've got a fence for like a little yard where some like tools and things can be stored. You've got a gate in here. And then we have the indoor viewing for the Dhole. So we've got one over here and one over there. But the area can be split off if need be. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's not 100% finished yet. This door needs putting in, and then something needs to go here because we're going to push through into this area, which is for the Himalayan brown bears. But so far, everything's pretty much finished. It's just a couple of little finishing touches here and there, like that gap underneath the fence up at the top. So the next episode, I don't know exactly what it's going to be, because we do have the Zookeeper Animal Pack, the Zookeeper Collection Pack on the way. And the Palliser's cat will be going in Dunswell Zoo. As you can see, I've already earmarked an area out for it. But depending if the mods break or not, it might be the Palliser's cat, or it might be an episode of Eastlake, because I don't use mods for Eastlake. We'll see anyway, but I'd like to stick in Dunswell Zoo for a bit longer, so it might be the Palliser's cat next time. If not, if mods do break, then I'm not going to be able to do the Himalayan brown bear either, because this series uses mods. Even though the Himalayan brown bear is a base game animal, the map won't load if not all the mods are working. But we shall see. I've got ideas for this habitat for the Palliser's cat. Again, hopefully this is going to be enough space for them. If not, I can always knock back a bit further into the snow leopard habitat. And then we've, of course, got the gargantuan Himalayan brown bear habitat. Let's just take a quick look, actually, at the space requirements for the Himalayan brown bear. That's not that much. We're only going to have one male and one female. So 590 when we put them together. Okay, okay. And what we got for enrichment going on? Trees. Some of the larger enrichment. That's okay, that's fine. Okay. So yeah, Palliser's cat will be the next one. And then after that, it'll be the Himalayan brown bear. But we'll finish with the Ussuri Dhole, because that is what we came for. That's what we've built for this episode as well. So, I've been JW. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've just hit 400 subscribers at the point of recording this. Thank you very much to the 400 of you that have subscribed. Here's to the next 400. You can find me on Instagram at jw_yt, and you can also find my wildlife photography at jw_wildlife photography. until the next time, my friends, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to stay safe and stay kind. And I shall see you all in the next episode. None of the dolls are out, unfortunately, so I'll leave you with this scenic shot instead. Thank you very much for watching, my friends. And until the next time, bye-bye for now.